How login systems actually work every day. We log into apps, websites, and devices. It feels simple. You type a username and a password, and you're in. But behind that simple screen is a system doing several careful checks in a very specific order. Here's what actually happens when you log in: identity versus authentication. The first thing to understand is that identity and authentication are not the same thing. Your identity is who you claim to be. Authentication is how the system checks whether that claim is true. Typing an email address tells the system who you are claiming to be. The login process exists to verify that claim. Passwords are not stored as text. When you create a password, most modern systems do not store it in readable form. Instead, the password is passed through a mathematical process called hashing. A hash turns your password into a long, random-looking string. The important part is this: a hash cannot be reversed back into the original password. When you log in later, the system hashes the password you type and compares the result. If the hashes match, the system assumes the password is correct. The role of the login server. Your login request does not go directly to the app you are using. It is usually handled by a login server or identity service. This server checks credentials, applies security rules, and decides whether access is allowed. If everything checks out, the login server does not keep rechecking your password. Instead, it creates proof that you have already been authenticated. Sessions and tokens. After authentication, the system creates a session. A session is a temporary state that says, this user has already logged in. In many systems, this is represented by a token. The token is stored in your browser or app and sent with every request. As long as the token is valid, the system trusts that you are still logged in. That's why you don't need to re-enter your password on every page. Why logouts exist. Logging out simply destroys or invalidates the session token. Once the token is gone, the system no longer trusts incoming requests. To regain access, authentication must happen again from the start. This is also why logging out matters on shared or public devices. Without a valid session, access is denied. Why logins sometimes fail. Login failures usually happen for one of three reasons: the credentials are wrong, the account is restricted or locked, or the session system rejects the request for security reasons. In many cases, the system is working correctly. It is being cautious by design. Why login systems are everywhere. Login systems are not just about convenience. They are about control, accountability, and safety. They define who can access data, who can change it, and who can be traced afterward. That's why nearly every modern digital system relies on them. Closing. What looks like a simple login screen is actually a carefully layered system, one that quietly decides who gets access and who does not. That's how login systems actually work.